Hello and welcome to Diplomat, your daily weekday COVID-19 show that keeps you up to date with developments the world over in the region and of course here in Zimbabwe. Now this show is brought to you by ZTN in partnership with the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services. I am Owen Kaura. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 statistics as of yesterday. 70 new cases of COVID-19 were recorded from 1,969 COVID-19 tests conducted yesterday. Well, this represents a 3.6% positivity rate. 11 deaths were recorded, bringing the cumulative fatalities to 4,401. The cumulative number of COVID-19 cases now stands at 124,437, and of these, 111,534 are recoveries. Now, Zimbabwe currently has 217 hospitalized cases of COVID-19, and of these, 10 are new admissions, 89 are asymptomatic, 95 are mild to moderate cases, and 22 of those admitted have severe symptoms, while 11 are in the intensive care unit. Let's take a quick look at figures around Zimbabwe's vaccination program, which is ongoing. And according to the latest data, 17,128 people received their first dose yesterday, bringing the cumulative for the first dose to 2,530,481, while 10,371 received their second dose, to bring the cumulative for the second dose to 1,606,751. Now, Zimbabwean schools officially reopened today for examination classes, that is for O-level, A-level, as well as the grade 7 classes. That's for non-examination classes will be opening next week. And today, Diplomatic Passport took us to Harvard Junior School in Belvedere, a suburb here in Harare. And I am joined by the school head, Lois Magweba. How are you, Lois?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Great, perfect. Now, let's just start from a very simple place. How has been the first day?
The first day, I can say the children, they are still in a learning phase. They are trying to adjust, coming from a long, long holiday, which was not even supposed to be like expected to have. So I can say they are adjusting, they are quiet, they are in their shells, and we are trying to motivate them so that they can be at a stage where they can understand that they are now at school.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned that you're trying to motivate them. Do you think that they need professional motivators in quotes, for example, psychologists?
Of course, yes, but I want to allude our curriculum. When we are by the colleges, we learn about psychology is one of the subjects, is one of the course. So as a teacher, if you're a professional teacher, you know how to motivate these kids so that they can be back to their normal thinking.
Let's look at the attendance today. What has it been like?
Yeah, today, according to us at Harvard Junior School, is 100%. We have all our grade 7 kids today.
And how many of those?
Sorry?
How many are they?
They are around 14, 15, because that's our first class when we started our junior school 7 years ago.
All right, now that brings us to a very important question as well in terms of adherence itself, in terms of social distancing, the wearing of masks, the sanitization, personal protective equipment. How ready are you?
We are very ready. If I can say maybe, I can't say maybe, we are 100% ready to receive them, because this is not our first time to reopen after the closure because of the pandemic. We once did that, and this is our second time. We once encountered the same situation. So according to the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, they drafted an operating standard procedures together with the Ministry of Health, and we are adhering to that. So if we are sticking to the operating standard procedure, I think we are not going to miss it.
Now, some parents may be worried as well, children being children, in terms of compliance. Are they complying?
They are very, they are complying. And what I can say is we need to exercise the concept that in local parentis, we are parents when parents are not there. We make sure that the children, we constantly advise them to keep social distancing and also to mask up so that they don't miss it. And I think adherence, it depends with the teacher. It depends with the supporters. We are supporters of these children. They need to be reminded.
And then what role does the parent play?
The role that the parents are supposed to play is to make sure that when the child is there at home, they have to make sure that the masks, since they are washable, they have to wash their masks and they don't have to repeat the masks.
Now, we know that other children, other learners, other grades, the non-examination classes will be joining next week. Now, in terms of, you bring in a very important question, the aspect rather, in terms of the masks. How are you going to make sure that the children are wearing the proper masks? For example, other schools were saying they're putting on coded masks. For example, the grade 7s might have green masks, and then the grade 6s might have blue masks on a different day. So how are you working around that?
Yes, we are also following the same concepts. We have our 3 different masks. On Monday they have white, on Tuesday they have blue, etc. But what is very important is to brand the child's name on the mask so that they don't share the mask, because they are not supposed to share. So all children, they have to have masks, but they have to have their names branded on the mask.
And then also we bring in a very critical issue, the issue of staff, your staff members and vaccination. I'm sure in the introduction they were talking about the number of people who are getting vaccinated, and it's increasing day by day. Now, in terms of your staff, in terms of vaccination, are they vaccinated?
I'm very glad to announce that all our staff here, they embraced the idea of vaccination. We encourage, as school authorities, we encouraged them, I think 2 months ago, to say everyone has to get the vaccination complete before we may open, because we were not aware of the date that we were going to open. So all our staff members, inclusive of teachers, all supporting staff, all children, all staff workers, they are all vaccinated.
Right, in terms of the children, yes, of course, the government has now extended to the 14 to 18-year-olds. But of course, here, you don't have many of those 14. Maybe you might have 1 or 2 cases. But as an educationist, in your own view, how important is it for the 14 to 18-year-olds to be vaccinated?
Honestly speaking, it's a noble idea. Taking from the news that children are also going to be affected with this pandemic, I think if funds permit, the government should also embrace the vaccination of that age with the serious it deserves. Because if we are getting vaccinated and our children are not vaccinated, what it means is there's a gap that we need to fill. Because all children are also being affected like us as adults. So I want to extend my request to the government to say, can we please fast track the vaccination of these children, especially at boarding schools, because they interact a lot. So the other concept of social distancing, as children, it may be very difficult for them to maintain social distancing. So I think if we vaccinate that age group, it will close the gap between the people who are vaccinated and those who have been vaccinated.
Great, and just before we close the show, today's show, your parting shots.
I would like to applaud our government, the government of Zimbabwe, about encouragement, especially on the vaccination drive. These vaccines are for free. What we need as people is just to take trust from what our government is saying, to say all people should go and get vaccinated, since it's for free, and that's the only way to go. This pandemic is there and it's real. And we need to be very positive and embrace the vaccination program.
Very wise words there from an educationist who's been in the game for a very long time, Ms. Lois Magweba from Harvard Junior School here in Harare Belvedere suburb. And that's it on this edition of A Diplomatic Passport. Do join us again tomorrow, same time, and it's bye for now.